those kids are, the third culture kids that don't fit in China and they don't fit in America, so they're kind of lost in that middle. But I think they're influenced by Chinese culture for sure, because that's all. I mean, like, it's not like we brought them up in the home, even though we're living in China. But you got 1.4 billion people around you acting and living in a certain way, and that definitely is going to have influence on the way they see the world, on the way
Yeah.
the lens in which they view it.
Hey guys, thanks for checking it out. It's another episode of The Selfish Show where we talk about the self-ish, and then I selfishly ask my friends questions about whatever I selfishly want to ask them about. So that's why it's called The Selfish Show. And on today's episode, we have Jonathan Wu, my good friend Jonathan Wu. Welcome to The Selfish Show, bro.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. It's awesome.
So Jonathan is a good friend of mine. He used to do dunk shows at NBA. We co-wrote a song, a pretty popular song called Ohio Sucks. I have a video of that, bro.
Whoa.
So
Now you
yeah,
just
and so
lost
like,
all of Ohio as your viewers here.
no, bro, they love the song in like winter. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Maybe I could post it so that like people can hear it. But anyway, man, thanks for being on the show today. Can you tell everybody like how long have we known each other?
My goodness. Since the 1900s. 90.
1994 was when you first started, but I met you like you came on campus like that spring, which still would have been
Yeah.
1994. So like, yeah,
Definitely.
bro.
Long
I was
time,
thinking
man.
about that. I'm like, dude, that's like 3 decades,
We're
man.
old.
Yeah, we are. Well, kind of. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We're both Asian, so like, other than like if I shave all of this, I still look pretty young.
Asians don't raisin.
So we went to college together. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background, like what you do? Yeah, just tell us about yourself,
Yeah,
like a couple
no.
minutes.
So went to school with Lem, studied mechanical engineering, graduated and designed cup holders and armrests in West Michigan.
Yeah, bro, doing math.
Yeah, doing math, doing cup holders, and then lived in China for about 15 years, a little bit over, and then COVID happened. We left China for a few years in North America, and then now we've been in Thailand the last 3 years, living and working in Thailand.
So Thailand's like the place now.
That's the place. That's home.
Is it the same organization?
Yeah, same.
What's like the organization
It's
called?
called English Language Institute China, ELIC.
Okay, ELIC. So ELIC, and you've been with them for 18 years?
20.
Oh,
We
20
just
years.
finished 20 years with them.
Shoot, man, I remember visiting you in Michigan and
Yeah.
like you're having those conversations about possibly doing this, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And so, wait, how long did you do the mechanical engineering thing?
7 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a good amount of time. Man, 20 years. And so this is like career for you? You're doing this the rest of your life?
I don't know, man. When you say it like that, it's scary. But I will say, you know what? It is
I mean, you've
where,
gone 20 years.
right? It is where the Father has us now. And it's kind of like that pillar of fire, and wherever he leads, that's where we're
That's
going to
awesome.
go. So we're just going to follow him where it is. And right now, we're in Thailand, and God's been good. He's blessed us, and I love the
Awesome.
work that we get to do. So it's been fun.
And then you have, how many children do you have?
3.
And how old are
The
they?
oldest is 18, just graduated high school, going to the alma mater. So we're happy about that. And then I've got,
Peterville.
yeah, a ninth grader and a third grader.
Shoot, man.
I got
You
the
got them
spread.
spread
I
out,
know.
bro.
Just want to have fun. I want to stay young. I want to be the
And they
oldest.
love, and they love Thailand.
They love it. What's not to love of Thailand? There's elephants, there's smoothies, and there's mango
There's,
sticky rice. We got it all.
bro, and the night market.
Yeah. There's a
Bro,
night
I've been to
market
that night
everywhere.
market. Wait, you guys are in Chiang Mai?
Yeah. Yep.
Bro, I gotta come visit.
You should. Come on.
Yeah, man. So we're having this conversation because you are a second generation child of immigrant parents, which I too am also second gen. Well, technically they say 1.5 because I was born in the Philippines.
I'll give it to you. Let's round up.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know these things. But I wanted to talk to you about that. Well, specifically like that so you're the second generation, and like I just watched Crazy Rich Asians, you know, rewatched it. I was on the plane last week and I saw it and I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch it again. But I watch a movie of Crazy Rich Asians and I call a good Asian friend, you know what I mean, to ask him
Let's do it.
about his Asian upbringing. So you've seen the movie, right?
Long
And
time ago, man.
there's that pressure from your parents to like continue to be Asian. Did you experience much of that, or was engineering like professional enough? Because your dad was an engineer, right?
Yeah, he was an electrical engineer. Personally, I don't think I ever felt pressure to pursue anything like a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer, but it's like I was good at math. I don't know if that falls into the stereotype, but like I was good at it. So I thought, well, might
Okay,
as well do this and I'll make money.
yeah, yeah. So they never pressured you.
No, no,
I mean, even just like little things, because my parents were like, "Man, get good grades, study hard," and I didn't need,
there
I
was
didn't need
that.
to study. There was that.
Yeah,
Okay,
but not for the
but like,
career.
okay, I didn't get that for the career either. But then there was, did they do like we came to America to give you a better life?
Sure, but I don't think it was repeated over and over. I feel like that was a subtle, like you just knew that's why they came. It didn't need to be repeated over and over.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they didn't like use that against you.
no.
They didn't bother you with like study harder or study more.
I mean, there was always a study hard.
Okay,
Just
because
you got to do it.
because I got that a ton, man, and it drove me crazy. But like like whatever.
Yeah.
You just it's just part of it. But they never pressured you career wise.
No, no, I thought they were
Okay,
but maybe if I chose to be like a communications major, they might have sat me down and been like, what are you doing?
no, no offense to any
Yeah, I
communication
know.
major.
I
Like,
just
dude,
offended everybody. You might
we're
want to
just
delete this whole
losing,
thing.
we're just losing all kinds of people. Okay, so like it's kind of unfair because your kids have spent time in China, but typically, like first generation immigrant parents like instill Asian values into their kids. And for the most part, their kids are like, yeah, we get it. And so they hold on to it kind of. You know what I mean? But the third generation, that next generation typically are like, no, they typically tend to be more like Western,
Yeah.
and it's a lot harder to have them hold on to the Asian values, except for your kids were in China with you,
Yeah.
their growing up years. But like, did they grow up as Asians or did they grow up with that Western? No, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, you just hit on a whole other topic. Those kids are, the third culture kids that don't fit in China and they don't fit in America, so they're kind of lost in that middle, but I think they're influenced by Chinese culture for sure because that's all. I mean, like
That's
it's not like we brought them up in the home even though we're living in China, but you got 1.4 billion people around you acting and living in a certain way, and that definitely is going to have influence on the way they see the world, on the way
yeah,
the lens in which they view it
yeah. And they look mostly Chinese.
for the most part.
No, but so you highlighted something like for me, like I grew up in Hawaii, very Asian parents. So at home we were Asian,
Yeah.
but then I went to private school, and at school we were very much culturally like Western, but like not just American, but like Hawaiian. So like so
Yeah.
it still kind of had like flavor of Asian, but it was still very Western. So like I ended up studying identity in my doctoral program because I think now looking back at it, like exactly what you said. Like the Filipinos would give me a hard time for like not being able to talk Tagalog, but like I didn't look white, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like I acted like that. And so you've seen that dynamic with your children?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. It is that like, yeah, they do call it the third culture kid. It's like, where do you fit? You don't fit in your passport country because you've grown up overseas your whole life. But the country in which you've lived and grown up in, that's not your home either. So like you're just caught in the middle. So that's where they are. And I think it's hard for us as parents who grew up in America to like help navigate that because I still feel like I am very American in everything I do culturally. And I'm also Chinese because that's, my parents and the way they brought us up. So there's a little bit of tension in that, but I think for them, they're kind of lost in the middle of it all.
Wait, so the term third culture kid is like a
Have you
like
heard
it's in
that?
the research?
Yeah.
No, I've never.
Oh,
Dude, I don't know.
bro,
You're the expert.
you need to go research this, get another doctorate.
No way. I'm talking to you. So 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 third culture kid refers to your kids.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
American kids growing up in another country.
It could be
Would you be
any.
you're not third culture
No.
because you okay, why is that?
I think because I was born in America and I understand American
You
culture and
grew up
values. Yeah.
Western.
Yeah. So then that makes me more American in culture. A lot of like military kids, any kids that spend significant time overseas, even if they didn't like live their whole lives over there, if there was a significant amount of time overseas, they're considered a third culture kid. So they don't have to be born there. They could spend a
Yeah.
year and still be considered that.
So last weekend I just spent like a week with my nephew, and my nephew moved to Germany
Yeah.
in 2020. So like, for the last 5 years, he grew up in Germany, and I was asking him all of these questions like he doesn't feel
Yeah.
European, you know what I mean? But he's definitely American, and he goes around the base and in the area, it's definitely American. Everyone speaks German and it's Germany, you know what I mean? And so it was really interesting to hear him talk about it. So he would be considered third
Absolutely.
culture because he spent
Absolutely.
last year of middle school and 4 years of high school there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so he's very European, like he loves soccer,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He played soccer, like very European in just the way that he thinks. And so that's the
Absolutely.
reference.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How do you prepare Sam for going to college? Like, is this like, oh, wait, you're leaving tomorrow?
Yeah.
So you're leaving her.
I'm leaving her. Way to make me bring up all the emotions I've been pushing down this last year.
Hey, bro,
Now you're bringing it up.
this is this is what this is what a friend
Yeah.
does.
Thanks,
So who's
man.
so Mavis is taking her
No, so
or
Rachel,
Francis?
nope, Rachel's gonna
Oh,
fly
Rachel
back.
will stay.
Nope, she's already in Thailand right now,
Oh,
so she's back
oh
because,
shoot.
yeah, because school starts like this week, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was here because of meetings in Colorado, and then so I'm gonna fly tomorrow, meet the rest of the family, and then in like a week and a half, she'll fly back here, drive her to school, and drop her off. Yeah, it's crazy.
Bro,
I know.
bro, that's and okay, so how
Okay.
have I was gonna say how have you prepared her?
I need to be
But
prepared. No, actually, there are lots of resources out there for third culture kids. In fact, she just went to a camp that was out like in Western California that another organization puts on for TCKs who are returning from overseas life. And then they just help them with, like mostly processing, like what is it going to be to be back, tell your
whoa,
story, think about like just the impact that life overseas has had. So she was at this camp with kids from all over the like globe who grew up in Africa, Indonesia, China, Thailand. It's pretty
that will
cool.
assimilate back into. Can you tell me what
Yeah.
that organization is? Because maybe I can look them up.
I don't remember. I'll look
I'll
it up
get it
for you.
from you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll get it from you. But yeah, I was researching this, and I realized that like that second generation to third generation jump is much more difficult than that first to second generation. Would
Absolutely.
you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like what's the struggle? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's why I'm
I don't
calling
know.
you.
I have no research in this, but I wonder if it's just the
Well, just your
you're being
experience.
removed. The farther you are removed from your like I don't know if you call it a host culture or like your main culture of your roots. I think it loses a lot of things. I think our generation, when we grew up, our parents still spoke to us in their native language and tried to
Yeah,
instill those
exactly.
cultural roots and things like that. And I think our generation mostly, well, for me, it was more of like, I don't want to be like that. I want to assimilate into the culture that I'm living in and a part of. Like, I want to be involved in pop culture. I want to know the music. I want to know
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
things that every other kid around me is doing. I don't want to be stuck learning Chinese school on Saturday. So I think that's the rub. And then, as we stepped away farther, now our kids aren't exposed to that first generation part. So I think it's like that telephone game, it just slowly loses and messes up, the further down the line you get.
Well, that's the cultural piece. But
Yeah.
then on top of the cultural piece, there's also like this digital
Well, yeah.
culture that has changed the way that we live. And then on top of that, there's like this generational stuff, like the Gen Z kids. Like there's like even like bigger disparities because, there's the generational stuff. And then on top of that, there's the digital culture and like living your life online that has really kind of changed a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Does that show up in either Sam's like development or your conversation with her?
Yeah, I think so. But I was just thinking, I wonder if the digital stuff helps though, because
Okay.
I think there's more of a broad understanding of the world in which we live in, and there's beauty in culture, and they're exposed to more of it. Besides, like, I think when we're growing up, it's just like I want to assimilate to the neighborhood and what's happening. But now because I'm exposed to the broader good and the bigger world, it's not as weird. I think
Right.
people are more accepting of that. So like to
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
a
yeah.
lunch full of like stinky food or whatever is native to your culture, it's not looked down on as much. I think it's more celebrated in
Yeah,
I would hope
yeah. The
the
diversity.
diversity is
Yeah.
more celebrated than before. Whereas like I wanted the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Don't give me fried rice. Like I want to be normal, you
No,
know?
bro, I wanted the fried rice, man, and the stinky stuff. I didn't care.
You're a good guy, man.
Bro, it just tasted better.
You're right. You're right. So I don't know.
No, but
I'm
but
not
I did
sure.
struggle with that. Like, I no, no, you're right. So a kid from Thailand moving to Ohio, like,
Yeah,
it'll be
she's
interesting.
hosed. She,
I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand one, how to help parents
yeah,
help their kids, but then how to help kids understand, like, hey, this is your family, the family system and the family culture that you grew up in. 100% that makes sense.
yeah,
And that's a good starting place for any kid to realize, like, this is how my family works. This is my family system. And then from there, then you build an understanding of like how the rest of it works. You know what I mean? And so I'm sure she'll process through all of that. But can you give us you have any insights for us of things to be thinking about, like when working with second to third generation Asian kids?
man. I don't.
Like,
Yeah,
how do you teach Asian values, but then also celebrate your passions and your individualism? You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, I guess in light of that cultural, that's the Asian American cultural like tension,
Right,
right?
right.
To the collectivism and the individualism, right? The family and your name, but then also like pursuing like your dreams. How do you help your Sam figure that out? Like, how did you help her process through that?
Yeah. I don't know if there's a conscious effort or thought going in to bring all those things in. I think it's just being a good parent and loving them and helping them see those things that they enjoy and that they're good at and helping develop them. I think those cultural values just happen naturally and organically at home. But the beautiful thing of growing up overseas is you get that influence from around you and you don't really have to work that hard for them to see those things, but to bring bits of that into the home is important. But I feel like
Yeah,
it's good just to make home home and like my wife
yeah.
is an Asian, so we're taking like two different cultures and building a home on that.
I know you said she isn't Asian, but she's probably more Asian than I
Yeah,
am at
maybe.
this point
Maybe.
because she spent 20 years in Asia and I left when I was 4.
Yeah, you're right. We do say that she's more Asian than the rest of our family.
You guys even
But
say
yeah.
that? Because she has to work harder at it because she doesn't look Asian.
Well, that and she speaks Mandarin and she lived in China for, 15 years.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for spending some time and sharing some wisdom. Dude, we're gonna have to do this
All
again.
right, let's do it.
So yeah, man. If people wanna get a hold of you, is that a
Yeah,
possibility? How do they do
of
that?
course. I mean, like, what's the best way?
What's it give us your Instagram because that's how I hit
There
you
you
up.
go. It's Johnny Woo, JONNYWU. That's it.
Johnny Woo at Instagram. So hit him up if you have any questions. Thanks for being on the show, my
Yeah,
friend.
man.